Hello students and welcome to this video explanation of the homework. If you have not tried the homework question, Concrete Limited, please do not continue to watch this video because it's supposed to be a learning opportunity for you. So please ensure that you have tried this question before you watch the explanation. Otherwise, you are just taking a learning opportunity away from yourself. So the question reads, Concrete Limited manufactures and sells two products called Concrete. The annual volumes, labor hours, and cost data of the products are given below. So now you will see that there are several cost drivers given for the overheads, and then they have given you the cost driver that relates to each of the products. Again, something that you should pay attention to is the fact that they have not given you the totals of the cost driver, so that is something that you will have to calculate yourself because it's very important information. So I'm quickly in the red going to do that. So 55 plus 12 should give you 67,000, then 5,000, that should be 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 50, 400, 750, and then 28 plus 10 is 30, it should be 40,000. All right, then so you can see they've given you the overhead, they've given you its cost driver, they've given you how the cost driver relates to each of the products. Then in the next table, they have given you the overheads in rand terms. So you can observe that they have labor-related costs, their machine setups, product testing, production planning, material receipts, and general factory expenses. They've not given you a subtotal yet, so this is important for you to go and add it up. Again, in red, I'm just going to indicate that you should add it up. So the total here, I'm just taking my calculator to add up. So that's 950,000. We add to that 1.6 million. We add to that 1,650,000. Then 700,000. Then 900,000. Then 2.5 million. I get, if I add up all the totals in rand, I get 8,300,000. So 8,300,000 rand. If we look at the required part, A says assume that traditional costing is applied. Again, traditional costing, it refers to having a single cost driver, and this total of the overheads is then split between the products using a single cost driver. And the cost driver that they specify in A that they want us to use is the direct labor hours. Very important information. They say calculate the total overheads to be allocated to each product. In the required B, they say assume the activity-based costing is used. Calculate the total overhead cost to be allocated to each product. All right, so we are going to start with required A, which is traditional costing. I have my template, so I'm just copying the template for traditional costing. Nice and easy. And then I know I need to take the total overheads and I need to divide it by the total specific cost driver that they have given us to be the single cost driver for all of the overheads. So I remember when we added up the total, it was 3.8 million. And we need to divide that by the total cost driver. So if I look at it here, they say the cost driver should be the direct labor hours for the traditional costing. If I go to direct labor hours, it seems to me the total was 67,000 direct labor hours. So I'm going to divide by that. If I do this calculation, I get to my rate. And it's 123 rand, rounded to 2 decimals and 88 cents. In the second step, I need to take the rate that I've calculated, which is 123,88, 123,88, and I need to times it by the cost driver of each of the products. So I need to go and see what was the cost driver for con. The direct labor hours was 12,000 and 55,000 respectively. So I'm typing it in, 12,000 and 55,000, and now I just need to multiply to get to the total. So the total for the product, so it's con and Crete, I beg your pardon. So for con, we are going to allocate 1,486,560 Rand. And then for Crete, we're going to allocate 6,813,400 Rand. Right, so that is traditional costing. The answer to number A, we need to take the sum of all the overheads and we need to go and divide it among the products based on one specific cost driver, and all of it is allocated upon one cost driver. The second required part asks us that we need to apply activity-based costing. So again, I am going back to my template, copying the table that I use for my ABC costing, and I'm just copying it in, and this will be the answer to required B. In this instance, we did not have 3 products, so I am just deleting the additional column, and then it's product con and product Crete. I'm going back because I need to list all the overheads that they have given me. So it was labor related and machine setups. Then I think it was something like product testing and production planning. Then it was material receipts and general factory expenses. Righto, so we have in ABC costing a rule that says that each of the overheads will be allocated on its own cost driver. So I am going to highlight it the same color. The 950,000 of the labor related will have to go with its cost driver, which is the direct labor hours. Then we have the machine setups, and that is 1.6 million. And that one I am going to highlight in that turquoise color, and it goes with the number of setups, which is its cost driver. Then the product testing, I will highlight that one for you in purplish pink, and then the number of tests will be the cost driver there. Then we have production planning. Production planning, I am going to highlight in red, and it will go with the number of orders, which is its cost driver. All right, then we have material receipts. I'm going to highlight that one in gray. It's going to go with its cost driver, number of receipts. And then we have general factory overheads. That one I am just going to highlight in, let's make it that purple, and it should go with the machine hours. Now I can do each calculation because now I need to do a calculation for each of the overheads respectively. So I'm going to start with the labor related, and there it was 12,000 and 15,000, which added up, or 55,000, I beg your pardon, which added up to 67,000. So I need to go and do that calculation. So it was 950,000 and I need to divide it by the total of 67,000. And that gives me a rate of 14 Rand. If I round it to 2 decimals, it's going to be 14 Rand and 80 cents. For concrete, I'm going to say it's then this rate, 14 Rand and 80 cents, and I need to times it by the cost driver for that specific product, and that I believe that was 12,000 there. Then I need to take the rate again, and I need to times it by the 55,000, which relates to Crete. Right, moving along to the machine setups. The machine setups was 1.6 million, and the cost driver is 3,000 and 2,000, which added up to 5,000. So I'm going to take the total cost of 1.6 million, and I need to divide it by the total, which was 5,000. That gives me 320 Rand, and in each instance I now need to go and times by the machine setups for that specific product. For Con it was 3,000, and for Crete it was 2,000. Right, then we are on the product testing. If I go to product testing, the cost driver there in purple was the number of setups, and it was 1.6 million and 50,000. So I'm going to take the 1,650,000, and I am going to divide it by 8,750, which is the total cost driver. And I am going to round to 2 decimals, which gives me 188 Rand and 57 cents. I need to go in times by the cost driver for each of the products. In the instance of Con, it was 188,57, which is the rate, times by 5,500. In the instance of Crete, it is the 188,57, and we need to times it by 3,250, which relates to Crete. Right, moving along to production planning. For the production planning, the total was 700,000. The cost driver was the number of orders in red, and the total for that one was 400, while it was 100 and 300 for the two products respectively. So I am just going to do that calculation. Dividing by the total of 400, that gives us a rate of 1,750. I'm going to take the 1,750 and I am going to multiply by 100, and I am going to multiply by 300 respectively. We are on the material receipts. For material receipts, we highlighted it in gray. It was a total of 900,000, and it was 600 for Crete, 150 for Con, and it added up to 750 if we look at the number of receipts, which is the cost driver. So I'm going to take the 900,000, and I am going to divide it by the total cost driver, 750, and that gives me a rate of 1,200 Rand. I'm going to take the rate and times it by the material receipts, the number of receipts in each instance. So it was 150 for Con, and it was a total for Crete of 600. We are on the last one, which is the general factory expenses. And the general factory expenses was 2.5 million, and it was driven by the machine hours, which is 12,000 and 28,000 respectively, which added up to 40,000 in total. So I take the 2.5 million, and I am going to divide it by the total, which was 40,000, and that gives me a rate of 62 Rand and 50 cents. I am going to take the rate and then times it by the machine hours that relate to each product, which was 12,000 for Con, and it was 28,000 for Crete. There I have done all my calculations. So the only thing that is left to do is to get to the grand total. So what is the total overheads to be allocated to con? And now I just need to get to the sum of every single total that I have calculated. For Crete as well. So I can see that in the instance of con, we are going to allocate 3,272,295 Rand overheads to it. And if I look at, that was for con, if I look at Crete, it is 5,027,752 and 50 cents. So that is the approach that we would have followed to calculate the total of the overheads to be allocated for each of the products or to each of the products in the instance where ABC costing is applied. I hope that you have tried this homework and that you now grasp the basic concepts and the differences between traditional and ABC costing. Yes, then I look forward to us attempting the upcoming and new topics to follow hereafter. Goodbye.